south of here. The sheriff's office responded and confirmed what the farmer had reported and had called the DCI, since we've been working the investigation of Xavier Harrelson together in the event that it could possibly be Xavier. And we responded along with the state medical examiner's office and the state anthropologist. And we can confirm at this time that it is human remains. That's been confirmed by the state medical examiner's office. It appears to be that of an adolescent. And at this time, the clothing description, or the clothing that we've seen, even though it's obviously soiled and stuff, is consistent with what we knew Xavier to last be wearing. We are not saying that it is Xavier Harrelson at this time. There's a lot of work yet to be done at the scene here. And then, as you can imagine, the state medical examiner's office and state anthropologist has a lot of work left ahead of them in the days and weeks even to come.
What time did you get the call?
It's around 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Can you talk a little bit about what the scene looks like right now? Is the investigation happening right now? Has anything been taken away?
The investigation, it's just documentation is taking place right now. It's a very slow and methodical process, and meticulous process, as you can imagine. It's going to take several hours to do, and I will say that at this point, it's just found in a combined field, in a grassy area of a combined field. And so we want to make sure that that we're not missing anything, and we have a lot of help here from the sheriff's office, DCI, and especially the medical examiner's office.
Obviously, you said you can't confirm that this is Xavier. Have you been in contact with the family?
We have contacted the family, and they have as much information as what we are giving you at this point, as far as human remains, that of an adolescent, and the clothing description. What we see at the scene is consistent with what we knew him to last be, what was reported to us that he was last wearing when he disappeared in March.
Is there anything that can tell you how he ended up here? How the remains ended up here?
And that's going to be part of the investigation that we can't discuss at this time.
With the farmer discovering it, given the time of year, was this due to the harvest, things like that, of going over a field in a different way?
Yeah, field work. Yeah, he was completing field work. Anything else?
You're talking about it being a long 4 months. How is this for you guys, knowing that this?
Well, it moves us into another stage of the investigation. So in that sense, we're moving forward, I guess is what I'd say. So.
And we're just waiting for any type of information, like we've been saying for the last 4 months, and just knowing that this is such a rural area, we were hopeful that if unfortunately Xavier was not still alive, into hunting season, harvest season, kind of put the word out for people to be paying attention, that kind of thing, and we'll now just wait and see, once the medical examiner is done with their ongoing investigation, which again will be several weeks probably, to see if we can confirm who it is, or be able to confirm who it is.
Are you able to tell us how long the remains have been there? Has it been 2 days, 2 months, 4 months?
I would say a significant amount of time. We can't age it, of course, but just with the scene and the ground cover and that kind of thing, I would say for a period of time. I mean, more so than just a few days. Yes.
Being in a combine field, is there some damage to evidence?
We don't know that yet. So, I mean, that would be something for like the state anthropologist to do their examination on and that kind of thing.
What was the reaction from the family that you can share with us, and what kind of support can you provide at this point, being still in this sort of limbo state?
We were not there personally.
My detective talked to Sarah Harrelson, and naturally she was upset, so she was crying. So.
As well as his father and grandparents. So, yeah, and again, they don't have any more information than what we're providing to you guys right now. So, good, there's nothing more to give. Yes.
Talk about this area, I guess, was previously searched before in the different searches, or this was kind of an area that I guess maybe hasn't had that just yet?
This had not been searched specifically in prior searches that were conducted.
I don't think so. It might have had some airplanes.
searched. Yeah, nothing that was searched, on foot.
As far as the ownership of the land, is the owner someone that you've spoken to in your investigation, or has been a name that we've heard over the course of this ordeal?
That's a question that we can't answer at this time, since it's an ongoing investigation. So,
And just in relation to where we are, how far away are we from kind of the active scene?
a mile?
Yeah, probably not quite half a mile, I'd say.
Yeah, straight south of here.
If you all are able to say, what challenges do you all face going forward here in this case?
Obviously the identity of the remains, the cause, manner of death, is something that has to be investigated by the medical examiner's office, and then determining whether or not that there's foul play, and just any other kind of common sense or obvious steps with a death investigation. And I guess what we'd like to add, again, as we've said so many times before, anybody that has any information, regarding this situation, regarding the disappearance of Xavier, if they come forward, it might be they may think it's the most insignificant piece of information, and it may be what we need, to resolve this.
I think, if this is Xavier, it might get some people talking that have held their time up to now, so we're hopeful for that too.
And there is a reward that's up to
It's $36,000. I don't know how much money they got from Molly Tibbetts' run, but that would
That's right.
increase it.
You bet.
Any concerns right now at this point about everyone, whether it's ourselves, the media, or just folks in the community speculating that this is Xavier?
Any concerns, you mean?
Yeah, prematurely speculating that.
There's nothing we can do to control that. So, and I just back up to what we first said, that it is human remains out of an adolescent, in the clothing description. But so people are gonna make assumptions, I guess. We are just taking it a step at a time in this investigation. What we have is evidence for itself to tell us, which direction we want to go, and starting with the identity of the remains.
Okay.